Hey, this is Matt, and in today's video we'll be doing a deck matchup on Master Duel. This time, uh, it will be Eldlich against Drytron. So, I recently promoted to Platinum 1 once again, so this is the third season in a row that I'm Platinum 1. I know people, mentioned that, oh, what's the point of playing, getting to Platinum, because, you're punished. Konami doesn't give rewards, it punishes players, to most of them, whatever, just stay in gold or auto-lose to gold. I don't really care about any of that. I just like winning and flexing. Anyway, yeah. So this was my promotion game. So this is the last game that I won before promoting the Plat one. So yeah, it was interesting. I mean, I've had many interesting games against Drytron, but this one was uh, interesting, and it did not involve either skill drain or imperial order. Like normally, if I open skill drain or imperial order against Drytron, they just scoop. Like they can't really play through that. Yeah, I didn't. In this case, like it wasn't either, but it was a really funny board that I made. So you'll see. All right. So I do win the coin toss, and I do go first. Yeah, so I have a really good opening board. I don't know who my opponent is, but yeah, I have two board wipes, Torrential Needle, a Solemn Strike, an Elixir to get my Eldlich, and then a Punishment. So, very good hand, like everything I need, right? I had Counter Trap to stop monster negates. I mean, I think the only thing that would have made this hand better is if instead of Punishment, if I had Judgment, or even instead of one of these two, like I had Judgment, like yeah, I like opening Judgment just in case they have back row clear. But other than that, like, it's got a way to get my monster. It's got, like, a counter trap. It's got, like, board wipe. It's got pretty much everything I need, like spot removal. Yeah, so I'm just going to set 5. And, yeah, they're going to do standard Drytron things. Yep. Alpha, Ben 10, Zeta, got the ritual spell. Ben 10 searches another Ben 10. Also, I find it's crazy to me that, like, in Master Duel, like, Drytron has access to 3 Ben 10, 3 Ava, and Union Carrier. Like, it's pretty nuts to me. Like, if I wasn't playing Eldlich, I would, like, definitely hate my life playing against Drytron with any other deck. So he's actually running the Herald of Perfection build, not the Herald of Ultimateness, which, in my opinion, Herald of Perfection is better, but that's me. Anyway. Blah, 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 blah. Move to Fafnir. Yeah, so I'm basically of the opinion that I'm not someone who likes to shotgun my cards, right? So I have 5 set. At any point I could have tried to interrupt him, but I want to let him play out as many cards as possible until his board reaches a state where my traps will have the most impact, but also if he proceeds any further, it could potentially be troublesome for me, right? So yeah, that way he goes through the more cards in his deck, and he's left with far less follow-up for the following turn, right? Or even for afterwards. So just keep that in mind. Like, notice that he's comboing and doing all these things, and I'm letting him because I know I can clear his board anytime I want, right? Because I have Torrential and Needle Sealing and a Solemn Strike. Like, he can bring out Herald, it doesn't matter, right? Like, you have to have patience. When you play control, you have to have patience. So he brings out Herald, which is, correct. Like, he wants to be able to negate my traps. Little does he know I have a Solemn Strike, and little does he know I have more traps than he has potential fairies in hand, right? Anyway. Yep. So he's used Alpha, he's used Zeta. He's brought out the Herald. Multiple Ben 10s. Now Gamma. So this is the third Drytron name, right? So the only name he would have left would be Delta, which is, like, the least impactful one. So at this point, like, alright, he has 5 monsters in the field. Isn't this a good time to clear his board? Well, not quite. So he just tributed Ben 10 for this, right? I want to see what he searches off Ben 10. So he searches Diviner, right? So now, what I think... So even before I even see his play, my assumption of what he's going to do is he's either going to XCs Gamma and Alpha into either, a rank 1, or he's going to go into IP Masquerena. so that he can have space on his board to summon Diviner, right? That's my assumption of what he's gonna do here, right? Because why, like, he wouldn't search Diviner with 5 card like monsters on field if he didn't plan to play it, right? So the only way around this is to do a Link or an XC summon right now. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait for him to do that. All right, so he does make the IP Masquerena, which was expected, and he does normal the Diviner. So I do want to wait to see what he sends to the graveyard for cost, right? I mean, he could do Entis, but he probably thinks that he's protected by Herald, and he can just go ahead and go and be greedy and do Arclight, and he does do Arclight. Like, if he did Entis, like, he would get to target and pop one of my cards. But here's the thing. All my cards are chainable, right? If he targets, let's say he sends Entis. He targets Torrential or Needle Sealing. I flip Needle Sealing, right? He targets Solemn. I flip Needle Sealing. And then that forces Herald Negate, and then I can flip Solemn, right? So it's just like, other than, like, maybe Torrential, I'm just, you know, it doesn't matter. Like, sending Entis would not matter, right? But because he has IP Masquerena here, so anyway, he sends an Arclight, and I want to see what he searches. So I let him go for the search, and then I wait to see, alright, he decides to pull in Natasha, right? Alright, so at this point, I decide, this is the furthest I'm going to let him go. Why? Because he has IP Masquerena, he can easily do a Link summon right now into potentially an Axis Code Talker, or like a Borreload Savage, that will have the protection of, IP Masquerena, right? IP Masquerena, if you link with her, the monster you make cannot be destroyed by card effects. Now, granted, I do have Solemn Strike, but I want to save that for Herald. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, I cannot allow him to proceed any further. I'm going to go ahead and clear his board. So what do? I'm going to flip, on resolution, flip Needle Sealing. He's going to chain Herald because he has to, right? He sends Natasha, and I'm going to Solemn Strike. Yeah, this is just hilarious. Alright, so let's see what we've accomplished. With 2 cards, what do we do? So he went through... oh boy, he went through... Oh boy, he went... Wow. He went through 6 cards of his extra deck and 8 cards of his main deck. Right? Including his IP. Including... Arclight, including, I count 2 Ben 10s, I count his Herald, 1 Diviner, all three of the main Drytron names, right? His ritual spells in the graveyard, Foolish Barrow is already gone, right? And I literally spent 2 cards. Yeah. This is why you play a control deck like Eldlich, and this is why you run trap cards, like just all traps, no hand traps. There's no need for hand traps when you're playing like this, right? Like, what the hell can he do right now, right? All Drytron names are done. He's used his normal summon. Unless he has, like, the only thing that would give him a play is if he has Delta in his hand, tributes a Ben 10 for cost, to summon Delta, and then Ben 10 searches the thing, but then all his Ben 10s will be in the grave, and I guess he could get his ritual spell back, but then Delta will be at 1,000 attack. Again, there's really nothing left for him. Like, he's donezo. But yeah, 2 cards versus 14. So, let's see what it does. What happens next may shock you. He surrenders. Yeah, the writing's on the wall, right? I spent 2 cards and wiped out, like, his entire board of 5 monsters, and that he spent 14 cards to get to, right? So yeah. G effing G. So feels good to beat Drytron. They're so obnoxious. Like they're so, oh man. Like, people on the the Reddit subreddit, the r/Master Duel, they love, like, you know, moaning and whining about, yeah, they moan and whine about Eldlich, but they also love moaning and whining about Drytron, which I don't blame them. Like, Drytron is, like, legit cancer, especially in Master Duel, when they have, like, their entire toolbox at their disposal. So yeah, I love me beating some Drytron. Like, I mean, that was the only way I do it. Usually when I beat them using a combination of Skill Drain or Imperial Order, or if I'm going second, like, I could just do the same play, just set 5, go to their turn, you know, they do their thing. Even going second, like, if I had gone second there, I still would have won, because I still had Needle Sealing and Solemn, or like, and Torrential, and yeah, Herald can't stop that. So, so very, very hilarious game. Yeah, this is why I love playing Eldlich. It's not my favorite deck. Dark Magician will always be my favorite deck, but you know, control style decks, Eldlich, it's very bueno, muy bueno. All right, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. It's always a blast to watch Drytron lose horribly. So yeah, thanks for watching. Take care, and stay tuned for the next video. Later, peace.